Hello there, once again, this is Anton from Anton Bay. Thank you for stopping by the collection room. Today I'm looking at Alpha Flights 13 through 16, picking up where we left off. Last time was issue 12. I think Mac had just been killed at that point, and now Heather's in grieving, and we're starting to deal with some of the other stuff. Basically the consequences of Alpha Flight not having their leader. So here we are, we're going to start the pages off with just a big what do you call it, splash page, and you can already see John Byrne has put himself in the tombstones. We've got Jim Shooter in the tombstones, as well as some other artists who worked on this. Whew. Lack of oxygen. Anyway, I have given Byrne some crap lately for how boring some of his panels are, and I'm not going to hit him with that on these, because look at these. These are quite good. There's no action. There's no anything going on here. There's just solemn. It's a funeral, and it's drawn very well. There's no backgrounds or anything like that, and it's just, or at least no sky backgrounds. It looks very cool. He continues this on even further. I'm assuming there's going to be quite a bit of processing going on with these. Man, did a lot. Of course, Wolverine, he's too cool to show up and show any like caring. Wowza. I feel like all that didn't need to happen right this second. And we're still not getting any vocal, nothing from any of these people. So I'm assuming this could be a dream. I guess we'll find out. And yep, very end, it's a dream. And we go back into what's basically, I hate to just say boring, but they are boring. And I understand that this is a heavy topic, but even in the midst of a heavy topic, this is pretty boring. Like, come on, John. You're not having a whole lot of action. You're having a whole lot of talking, a whole lot of meetings, like a surprising amount of board meetings and commutes and stuff like that. Byrne draws tons of that in Alpha Flight. I think the last video we went through several issues, like at least 2 issues with no anything happening. A lot of discussions, meetings, things like that. Arguments, which I understand all these things require their place, especially in a book that's kind of broad scoped like this. But man, he lays it on thick, and it just feels like it drags. And I remember reading through this the first time many, many years ago. Some of the issues really dragged, or at least some of the, like spans would drag. See, at least here we start off with a poppin' first page. You got Snowbird coming in for a crash landing. You got a beautiful red background. It's John Byrne doing his thing, but it's pretty good. But will he follow it up? Will we actually get anything happening? We get a lot of scenes like this. Yes, they're in costume, but really, essentially, still, they're just having a conversation. Lots of conversations. And this is one of the best, one of my favorite pop pages that John did. It's just them in front of, like, what was this thing? Oh. Largest curved cinema screen. This is the Ontario place, home of the world's largest curved cinema screen, a fast-growing entertainment center for Canada's largest city. So yeah, it's a little bit goofy, a little bit hokey, but it's a moment captured in time in the 80s with Alpha Flight and a clearly Canadian landmark. Not clearly Canadian, the beverage, just a clearly Canadian landmark. And then we're going to go back to more brunches. Byrne does this thing where he puts a wide shot panel with one face in the middle and then word bubbles filling both sides of it. He does this quite often. Now that I've noticed it, I'm going to keep looking for it because it keeps happening. You definitely need to whip your shirt off if you're going to jump in there, because you got to. I don't know why. It just seems like you wouldn't need to do that. But it's probably the first hint of action we're going to get. I don't know how you could take a scenario like this, make it last this many pages, and still make it boring, but seems to have done that. So we're seeing now this is Jeannie Marie trying to get into Aurora's body because she is a split personality, clearly crazy, very, very strange. And Aurora and Jeannie Marie, though the same person, are very, very different people. So it's a weird dynamic, but it is. And then we're gonna have more commutes and more conversations and more meetings and more meetings. And you know what? I can't believe I never noticed all this before. It's just been this last run through. I really, really picked up on like how slow moving Alpha Flight was under John Byrne's direction. And even though when you get later, like post issue 30, things pick up and maybe they're bad, maybe some of the plot that happens is terrible, like they're poorly written, you can't deny that at least things were happening. And like here we've gone the whole issue, nothing's happened. Now something is finally looks like it might be happening, but will it? Will it? Will something actually happen in issue 15? Will something big? Nope. Nope. Now we're back to watching people show up at people's houses, meetings, commutes, conversations. Conversations in uniform, conversations not in uniform. Come on, come on. Look, the art looks good. You're set up. You've got the character, you've got the place, you've got the location. Now, all we need is something to happen. Something interesting to happen that we could be entertained with. Oh, you found a cave. That's good. And we're not going to get that. Once again, I'm feeling like, you see why this is frustrating? It's kind of like Dragon Ball Z. You build, you build, you build. We're finally getting a scuffle between friends here. But there's never like the big payoff. It drives me crazy. And I knew that I had troubles reading my way through all of Alpha Flight the first time I did it. There were spots where I really hit. But I was also young, and being older, looking at this, I can forgive my younger self for having difficulty because you know, we're 3 issues in a row here. We've been led to believe something big and cool is going to happen, and yet nothing big and cool has happened yet. I mean, yes, we're having a little scuffle between heroes. That's going to happen. That doesn't mean anything's going to happen. See, we're left with this thing at the end. Oh, the master's here. Finally something's going to happen. Well, we kind of thought that the last issue because it was set up that way. It was like something's definitely going to happen. And yet here we are, 4 issues in. I understand Max just died, but this is getting a little ridiculous. Let's have some action. That's cool. I'm going to give that props. The weird ship shaped like a submarine, or submarine shaped like a fish. That's truly incredible and awesome, and forsaking all others. But will we wind up back on the beach with the master? No, because we're already, like, something happened. We missed it. He captured them. They're in his ship now. That's it. Like, we didn't get the battle. We didn't get anything. We skipped the action part of an action comic book and went straight to the dialogue part where we're talking about, you know, our backstories and how we're going to take over the world. It just feels a little crazy. Crazy as in you made it this way, not crazy as in so zany and awesome that it's blowing our minds. Logan, Wolverine, James Howlett, whatever they call him now, visiting Heather in the hospital. It looks like we may actually get some fight, some hero, some action. A little bit going on with the Master and Puck. Surely Puck cannot defeat the Master. Or can he? Maybe. Wow. Uh-oh. They peeled his head off, and I told you not to try and glue the helmet on, because if somebody rips your helmet off, you're going to pay for it. It's going to be bad, and that's what happened. So we're actually getting a few things going on, and I'm not saying I want all action. I'm not saying that at all. And I'm not saying it, you know, I don't appreciate a good conversation. But the balance here is off, and it kind of reminds me of like Dragon Ball Z, where we sit and talk for 3 or 4 episodes before we lift a finger, and that's a little bit crazy. Because unlike Dragon Ball, where you kind of just watch and space out, this is Alpha Flight, where you actually have to read your way through it, and it can be a slog to get through. Anyway, they do pick up. The series gets better. It has to. Of course it does. This thing runs forever. Like 130 issues is what this thing does. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. I'm going to keep pressing on, because I got to get out of this John Byrne era. I want to get back to like some of the later stories that I really, really recognize, like in the 50s, 60s, issues 60s. But anyway, that's my story. Catch you guys later. Bye.